Welcome back to Anno 1800. So since the last episode, we have a town carnival currently, which is giving us a pretty substantial amount of income bonus here. +5 from beer, schnapps and rum, so that's +15 bonus income from artisans. I think artisans and above. And then workers is 10 extra, so yeah. This is not our current balance, but it's going to be okay. So what I've been doing is that I have... Oh, oops, sorry, wrong button there. I have expanded our village a bit out this way. And I have also upgraded some of the... a couple more houses into artisans. And then I've done a little bit of rearranging down here in the industrial region of the harbor. And I've set up a power plant here. You can see that the blue area is where the coverage is. And I've also set a power plant up here that is just outside of this town hall's sphere of influence. And this covers also quite a bit down here. And I was thinking that, let's see, so it goes all the way over to that pub. I'm thinking that this is a good potential spot for a second town hall, like say there perhaps. Ideally I would probably want to put it there, because, or maybe a little bit more up here. They can't overlap, so this won't work, but this would work. And the power would cover most of that actually if I put it like in that area there. So that could be our artisan, I mean engineer part of the town, because I'm planning on this to be the investor part of town when we get to that area. I also had to move 5 of the grain farms that were covering our oil spring area down here, because I was working on the railroad, which is built, by the way. That's what we are going to do now. We're going to build the 2 oil refineries, and we're going to build the small oil harbor, and we're going to build these 2 power plants that I've set up. I've also been up to this little island here. This needs to be changed to M. Havisham, where I've prepared everything we need for a zinc mine and a copper mine, so that we can start making brass. Because otherwise the engineers are going to be very complainy about not having spectacles. So yeah, that's about where we're at the moment. Let's start by building the oil harbor. And this does require a railroad connection. This is -100 in maintenance, but that's fine. I want to upgrade this immediately. I need to pay attention to that. There we go. So 200 maintenance, but we have room for 1000 oil, which is what I want to have. Then we need to build this oil refinery.
Look sharp, the governor's here.
What a wonderful invention the railway is.
And this oil refinery.
Oh my. What tragedy for your island's natural habitat.
Yes, I know. So this one is going to go up to... Let's see. Oil. 27. Each power plant is going to take, I think, 4 of that. We're producing 27 oil per minute, and I'm pretty sure that... 27 tons of oil per minute. I'm pretty sure that each power plant takes 4 tons of oil per minute, and I think the same goes for... the fuel depot. And there's already our first train. I'm going to set this to random train skins, because then it'll randomly pick between these skins for each train that comes out. I've also set up the railway line so that there is potential for track switching. I don't want the trains to suffer from issues with having to wait because the track isn't available or anything like that. But before we start the power plants, I do want to have these refineries work up a decent amount of oil, so that we have at least 200 oil in storage in the harbor. Now, I'm not sure about this roundabout here. That might cause problems. Usually we can see what line is reserved. But for some reason I can't see that right now. I'm not sure why. I don't know exactly. Maybe it is... Yeah, okay. Well, it's not too big of a problem. I might remove that connection.
Can you share my burden?
Another jade pearl? You already gave me one of those.
New orders?
You ennoble your ancestors.
Okay, you want me to deliver that to Archibald's lighthouse? Sure. Now where was I? Yeah, I might cut that part out. What is important is that because I have a connection there, and I have a connection here as well. So a train could go like this and then cross over here to get down to this track, or even go down and cross over here to get over to this track, so that it can go this way and up to the power plant here. The other power plant is simple enough because well, mostly the trains are going to come from the harbor, but it's a fairly simple line going along the trees here and then just down there to the power plant. As soon as we get this one up and running, we have a worker deficiency right now. I'm going to upgrade a couple of farms so that we get that worked on. Pun not intended, but I suppose it works. That should be sufficient. As soon as we build the power plant, I'm going to be able to demolish half of the buildings here. That's going to be a significant thing when it comes to workers. For instance, this sewing machine factory requires 200 workers. No, this fur dealer. And we have 2 of them. As soon as it gets electricity, this goes up to 200%, so I can just demolish one of them, which both will significantly improve our balance, because we need half the amount of buildings, but it is also going to significantly improve our workforce, which I had completely forgotten about that. And that might actually lead to me devolving or downgrading some of these worker houses, because farmers is probably more important than workers.
Work of art is but a shadow of its friend in nature.
I haven't muted my speakers. I hope that didn't cause echo issues. And we're going to have a lot of workers because, like, these breweries and these malt houses, they are going to be moved over to the harbor area. These slaughterhouses, they are also going to be moved over to the harbor area, and so forth.
Nice day for it.
I don't think I'm going to bother moving the sawmills, but I actually might do that too. So everything that benefits from power, I will be moving that over to the harbor area. Anything that can benefit from tractors, I'm not sure about that just yet, but we'll get around to that as well. I would also like to get a refiner. She's a cheap green item that increases the productivity of all oil refineries by 20%. Oh my. I don't need her now. This one is also pretty nice, but I don't need her either right now. I'm gonna roll one more time. Yeah, no. We are out of luck, it would seem. Do you have anything I want? Minimum Working Age 8 Act. If they aren't at school, they may as well work. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Brought some joy.
Yes.
Now, here is a
No.
vital.
A mind as fine as jade.
What is this quest?
Now, here is a vital
No.
matter.
No.
Now, you oughtn't waste people's time.
I'm not wasting your time. I think I'm going to pause the video until we have the necessary oil, and then we'll continue after that. There we go. Now we have enough oil in the harbor that I am comfortable with powering up things. And I forgot to mention that I also I had to move the sand mine over there to fit in the oil harbor. And I also built more fisheries here. And the reason for the fisheries is because of docklands, which is coming up rapidly on us. Everything here looks good, except for the spectacles, of course. In terms of agricultural goods, we are doing well on those. Intermediate, that is perfect. Raw materials, we are underproducing coal and iron, but the moment that I do this, we are no longer... Oh. No, we are not underproducing, then we are overproducing. Good. Why did I not see the change? Havisham, no. Dachvelen. I need to figure out some naming schemes here so that I remember these things. Alright, now let's go over to the harbor area, and this is going to be some kind of a major rearranging thing going on here.
Astounding. Can you teach me about this new invention?
Sure. I would think you would be able to figure it out yourself, though. So we need a train to... that was quick. Now the rearranging of the harbor is going to be interesting. I might do that off camera. Like pause the recording again. Because that's going to be a lot of rearranging. The power reaches most of the harbor area, so yeah. But I am going to tear down the trees. Down to that line. Because the roads here need to be completely redone. That town carnival came at a good time. There we go. And I just remembered that I actually need to make sure that this track here should be fine. This train is keeping that track. I think it'll be fine. It is not that long a track before we can send out a new train to it. I think we should be fine. I will monitor it. Anyways, I'm going to do a quick pause or cut in the recording. You can note that I have 4 of these brick factories. I have 2 concrete factories. It's actually easier to do it this way. I have 10 schnapps distilleries, 9 framework knitters. I have 5 bakeries. This one I only have 1 of, but I probably will just add some wool. We have 6 rendering works. We have 3 soap factories. We have 2 malt houses. We have 4 breweries.
Nothing remotely strange about a person
And we
such as
have
myself,
2
pushing
fur
back the
dealers.
boundaries of what we presume to know.
Of course, we also have 2
There's
sewing
nothing
machine
else I can
factories
imagine
now.
wanting.
We can halve most of these numbers. So, yeah. With that, be right back. And here we go. We have a slightly redesigned industrial area down by the harbor. And we now have a very, very, very decent amount of workers available in our workforce. We also have a pretty good balance, so that definitely helped. I've moved the industry that we had up here down into the harbor because anything else would be rather silly. I've moved the farms that we had down here up here. I also had to build 2 more sheep farms up here. I compacted the hops little bit in this area up here. So we are now all over here with these two warehouses. Probably should upgrade this warehouse actually. There's a lot of empty space in this area here, which is good. We might need some more pigs. And, I think we're ready for that when the time comes. Here you can see two trains. This one is taking up that track, and the other one is able to pass by. I should consider having a parallel track somewhere on this line here, but I think it's fine because this one is at 60. Yeah, it's going. No, we don't need two parallel tracks here. This is short enough that the power plant over here will be sufficient. Now, I wanted to check on the oil. Okay, so one power plant uses 12. That means that a power plant and a fuel factory both uses 12, so we can support another power plant without any specialists. Speaking of which, should go have a look at Eli's Harbor and see if the...
What makes you think I trust you?
Nothing really. I haven't given you no reason to trust me at all. Critically acclaimed tragedian. This one is an interesting specialist. She does stack with the specialist that gains stuff from having variety theatre, but I kind of feel that it's just as easy to just build the actual building. I feel the slots in the trade unions and the town halls are more valuable than the building space. Maintenance cost minus 50. You know what? I'm gonna buy him because I need to build a trade union out there anyways. But I wouldn't say that he's particularly good. Oh. Minus 100% maintenance cost on the brick factories. Do they even cost anything in upkeep? That's just silly. I would save 80. It would take me a long time to get that money back. That one isn't too bad. But I would say that you'd have to have the Research Academy first, so you can put them together. Nope. We have a quest in town. I always struggle with finding these.
Help us out, will you, boss?
I gotta find
Maybe as
old
a
Harold.
landlord, will you build us another castle?
There he is.
Not bad for a big boss.
Oh my. That is a good item to get from that. Helical planer. I think that is a World Fair item. We have a look at that. Helical planer. Item source. Yeah, it's a World's Fair. From a large or sumptuous science exhibition, actually. You can get it from quests or expeditions. That is a decent item to get. 35% productivity to sewing machine factories, canneries, bicycle factories, and lantern smiths without any penalties? Hilarious helium party balloon pump. Alright. That is a good item. Where the heck does that come from? Ah, it's a transmutation. I think it's transmutation. No, I think I just made up that word. It's a transmuted item that you get from Old Nate, and it's in the Arctic, of course, because that's where you harvest the natural gas. Although I do hope that the natural gas facilities are not running on helium. That doesn't sound very convenient. Another question here somewhere? There is another star. Yeah, it's in the engineer section.
May I present a conundrum? We must not rest on our laurels.
Yeah, that's fine. I can deliver.
Step into place? A fine catalyst.
Ooh, I get 20 reinforced concrete. So So I have 4 brick factories up still, which you might be wondering why, but it is because of this little island down here, Shornak. I have 2 clay pits here, which means that if I combine the clay on the throne of with Shornak, I'm using 8. Of course, that means that I'm full on bricks, but since they cost so little, I don't see a problem with that. Both of these guys have a quest for me, but I'm gonna check if these guys are going to be open for... She's probably going to deny it.
Because everyone knows
No.
pirates like doubloons.
Another thing that I did was that... Not here. Keep clicking that too often. I reduced the working condition on soap factory, so they have a lot of free time, which gives all workers +1 happiness. The reason for that was we had 3 soap factories, I think. Yeah, we had 3. I needed to reduce that to 2, but to at 200%, I had to reduce by 50% to end up at 150%. There was another building, I think, that I did that. Yeah, the framework knitters I also reduced by 25%. So the framework knitters are working at 175%, which means that we are overproducing... What we are overproducing right now is fish, which is very much on purpose, because that is the good that I want to export to get the numbers that I need in the docklands. Soap, I'm not sure if I want to export that right off the bat, but sewing machines might be, and fur coats might be something that I would like to export. If I want to export fur coats, I need to get more fur. And that would be up here, so I'd have to build 4 more of these, which should not really be much of a problem. They take 10 workers each, and they cost 200 for 4 of them, so that's definitely on the table. The only other thing that we would need is...
Curious.
See here. 15 seconds, so we would need 2 sheep farms. And the fur coats are a very good item to export, especially when you do have the costume designer, because since that means you don't have to deal with the freaking cotton fabric and the cotton plantations in the New World. You may notice that I am actually on the engineer stage, and I haven't even built anything in the New World yet. That is all due to these specialists helping me ignoring the old world. I'm getting rum from the brasserie patron Mertens, and I'm getting the cotton replaced by wool, thanks to the costume designer. So there is no need to go to the New World for me just yet. This one too, I mean, not him, the actor is providing us with the rum. So I mostly feel that we're in a very, very good position here. I mean, I've played for a long time. It's a game time of 14 hours, which is a lot more than I've recorded. But most of that time has just been hanging around, waiting for specialists to pop up and stuff like that. Doing some quests. Photography quest, that's easy enough.
You've unearthed one of my buildings.
Very simple.
The Jorgensen Trust couldn't be more.
The Jorgensen Collection. Bente Jorgensen, the dauntless philanthropist, has opened the doors to her museum once again with a new exhibition. This time, the dazzling artifacts will be accompanied by professional photographs, a must-see for every culture enthusiast.
Those who wish to grow must
Another
accept there is
photography
nothing
quest.
like trying.
Okay, I have to take a photograph of my oil harbor for her father.
I'm confident it's ready to go.
We also have a new newspaper. I haven't actually used propaganda more than once. Yeah, so this one affects the need for spectacles in the city.
After the long drought.
I think I'm going to change that with propaganda. Let's do a 10% consumerism.
Of course.
Make a little bit more money, and we get the first
Is not always the granny.
influence bonus on propaganda temporarily. Ching won't like that, neither will Benta, but I care, not really. So we have a lot of population that we don't really need.
You gained an influence bonus.
For the time being, I think I'm going to keep it. This one is also going to output double, because this one is affected by power. So when we open up this power plant, we are going to get power to that one. So we can actually have 5 of the brick factories. Okay, I'm going to remove the buy order for bricks, because why buy them? We are producing oodles of them. What we need to do now is unload this and set up a new trade route. I did not mean to go to the new world. So, trade routes, whoomp, whoomp, and old world number 6, and this is zinc and a copper. Old world, you should load up on zinc and copper and unload them. Accept. That is route number 6. We should also go to that island and actually build the mines. There we go. And Naria Jobble will be renamed to Old World 06 ship number 1. And let's add it to the trade route right away. I'm going to replace the schooners with clippers. Probably fairly soon, to be honest, because the clippers are 175 upkeep. The schooners, on the other hand, are 15. So as long as you can use the schooners, that's fine. We might not need more than that schooner on that trade route, but I feel that that specific route is a bit long for one schooner, because if the wind is like when this is going back to our main island, it's going to take a while because of the cargo slowdown, and in addition to that, it's also going to have to go against the wind direction. So yeah, that isn't ideal. Let me just see here. We need to plan out our zinc. Rather, the brass smeltery. Okay, so this building has one of those 5x5 prints. Yeah, I think that's a decent position for it. Let's leave it as a blueprint for now. Is that the front? No, I don't think that is the front. I think that is the front. That will produce quite a bit of brass. More than enough for one spectacle factory. Just looking at these, I need to leave this one open for the fur dealers. Yeah, I'm going to move... It doesn't really matter because I can't move the power plant easily. That'll empty the... No, it won't empty the input storage actually, but it doesn't make sense to move that. Or does it? I'm thinking about the room over there. I mean, we could put the spectacle factory there, perhaps? What is the front of this building, then? That is the front. Can we fit 2 of them here? We can. Okay, so this will be the spectacle factory area then. That suits me just fine. Temporarily. There are some specialists that we are definitely going to want for the spectacle factories and for the penny farthing factory and so forth. We'll get around to that eventually. Refiner. I don't think you have anything else. This guy is not at all bad, but I don't want to build a trade union near my power plant just for that. Not really. Ah, a port dealer. That's perfect, actually.
Perhaps this island is as yet.
Nope.
Is this feeling disgrace?
The exporter of goods would also be good to have on this specific ship, because she'll reduce the cost of our purchases. I think I already bought a glassmaker. Actually, I didn't. I should buy him then. He's a pretty good specialist. Placing glass with quartz sand. I'm not sure if I want to buy her or not. No, I'm not going to buy her. But I will send this ship, the Aurora, back to our harbor, and we can switch it out with Undine. Just thinking if there's anything else we could do at the end of this episode. I need to wait for the zinc to come in. The copper.
Stations. What brings you here, Master?
And as you can see, it's very slow, even if it's just 3 tons of each. You know what? I'm going to pause the recording while I wait for the zinc and copper to pop on down to our island. And then we can get up the brass smeltery and the spectacle factory before we wrap up this episode. Be right back. Okay, there we go. Now we have 20 brass in stock, and we have the brass smeltery up and running. So we can build the spectacle factory, and that should be pretty nice to get that up and running. Apparently that's not using the entire supply of brass.
We've taken to wearing
Then again,
hard
I
hats
knew
here.
it wouldn't. We have to look at glass. Yeah, we need to produce more glass. So let's pop on down to the harbor area here and copy this. And I should probably move these over to the industrial area as well, to be honest. You know what? I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take the glass producer and just plonk it down here, I think. That means that we're going to be using all of our brass, quartz sand. Let's also take the one of the window makers. And we can plonk that one down there. And we can go back and we can demolish that one. And then, yeah, that should be fine actually. Now, I was thinking about one little trick we can do to make a little bit more money. The public mooring, which you can build, it costs 10.8.
Awaiting new horizons.
Let's stack up on those goods here. So 40, 40, 20, and 16 glass. Well, let's have a look at our islands. This island here, Bristlewich, it has an attractiveness of 345. So let's quickly zoom down here.
You've been playing for 8 hours now. You do know you can turn this off, don't you?
No.
We've not met before,
Although,
have we?
in my defense,
I'm a tourist,
I've been AFK for
holiday maker, if
quite a
you
bit
will,
of the time.
And I've plans to spend my vacation here.
The tourists. Yeah, the tourists.
Such a quaint place you have. It could be such a success with people like me. But you'd need to expand your public mooring. It's a tad drab for tourists.
But I shall not do so. I don't even have a public mooring. I'm building one now. So this island has 345 attractiveness. Now the upkeep for a public mooring is 400. If we plonk down a public mooring here, and we just build a quick road between those two.
I finally
Now this
arrived.
public
Now
mooring,
to see if the journey was worth it.
we need the visit to arrive first, but we are going to make money here. Let's grab the rest of the goods, and let's check our other islands. This one has 317. This one has 345. Let's quickly jot out.
I feel it reflects the times.
Ah, yes. Tractors.
Perhaps there is a way to put theory into practice.
I don't particularly need that tutorial. Thank you very much, but I know how to build a tractor field. We can pop on over to Rindhoven as well and do the same here. Just build a public mooring and nothing more on the island. Take a little while for the clipper to pop up here. Hasn't come in here just yet, but it will. You might be wondering why I'm not building the public mooring in my actual city, but the attractiveness there is just 75 currently because I have so much industry there, and I haven't built any zoo or botanical garden or anything like that yet. I'm gonna wait with that until
Ceasefire has ended.
Oops. We do want that ceasefire back, please.
Call that a storm?
Oh, she did it free.
Why, it was nothing at all.
Likely, that is not good enough. And again, I lost my train of thought. That is not uncommon, of course. But the public mooring starts to become profitable at around 200. And we get the attractiveness here from just the countryside. So this will be just a go and visit the forest. Look at the pretty meese walking around. Here we go. I forgot the windows. Okay, be right back. There we go. So we can just plonk this one down here. And again, it needs a road connection, so we'll build that. The ship will arrive soon. Next visit in 4 minutes. I think it's very much the same down here. Next visit in 9 minutes. So the attractiveness down here is 342, and the attractiveness up here is 342. Interesting. How about this island? 317. Let's just speed things up so we can get this first ship
Certain gentlemen might
popping in
recoil
to
seeing
visit
ladies
us.
travel alone, but that is well if recoiled they remain.
We're going to have 342 visitors. Here we go. A bit amused by these little boats and the janitor that I saw was walking around in there. There we go. 1,231 in income. We also have an 18% probability of getting specialists, which will be common specialists, the white ones, maybe a green one if we're lucky. But we're actually making 831 from this public mooring here. And we are going to be making the same from the public mooring that we built down here on Brizzleridge. And until I actually start building on these islands, these public moorings, that's 1600 extra in our balance, basically just for some building material. There is no reason not to do this if you know that you have islands that you're not going to use. And it's also a great thing to do with Crown Falls if you, when you go there and open up the region. If you don't plan on building anything there, you just go to Crown Falls and you set up a public mooring. And of course some scrap trade with old Nate so that you don't have to do those blasted diving expedition things. And you can just leave the region alone. So there's a little handy tip for you, just to improve your balance, basically for free. However, with that, I think it is time to wrap up our episode here. We are getting
Cupboards are quite replete.
disease, apparently. I have no idea where. Over here. They seem to be under treatment, which is good. We are getting spectacles now, which means that it is time to continue upgrading these guys. They have started to...
Anxious about Western medicine.
Thank you, Princess Ching. They are starting to require penny farthings. I
don't pretend to understand artisans.
If you look at the penny farthings, they require caoutchouc. Caoutchouc we can only get from the New World. There is one. I know I said we should wrap up, but you know how it is. Penny farthings.
A tiny something to keep you going.
10,000. Thank you. This guy, Professor Ramdevi, he will affect light bulb factories and gramophone factories. It isn't often, but it is often enough. Every 17th cycle. It is a heck of a lot easier to build light bulbs factories and gramophone factories, and you need quite a bit of them as well. And also the steam engineer, who affects the cab assembly line. With these two, you might actually be able to completely forego building the penny farthing line, but I am going to have to build it. But I don't think I'm going to prioritize it. And the reason for that is that our engineers are at 25 happiness, and as long as they're over 20, I am generally content. And building that chain, it's not that much money, and this thing costs 1,200 maintenance, which means very quickly do the calculation there. 1,200 divided by 41. We need 30 engineer homes before we actually go in a surplus on that, which isn't all that bad, but I am going to need coffee though. We do want to get 1,000 engineers, and we also want to get pocket watches. The pocket watches, we can buy them from Archibald, but the pocket watches... Yes, the pocket watcher we can build or buy from Archibald. I have other plans for those, so that's not something we are going to do. Any of these particularly good? Bonus residence. From coffee and fried plantains. This one is actually not that bad to put in the New World. This one is nice too. Plus 30 income, or 30% income per house from engineers, investors and skyscrapers. I'm going to buy that. This one...
You're too kind.
See, they like that I reduced the working hours. That is why I did it. Normally I would remove one and increase the working hours, but I decided to go the other way instead because I'm trying to get chummy with particularly Jean Lafortune. Anyhow, we are at nearly 45 minutes.
I wouldn't give to get
Nope.
out. How did you manage to wriggle
So, if you do have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section. I do love the comments, especially the nice ones. And yeah, with that, thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. I know that I am dawdling a lot and bumbling around in these episodes, but the game is just so relaxing, and I feel that, especially if you play with Bente Jurgensen and Princess Ching, or even without them, you can just relax and chill, and the game doesn't really push you to do anything in a particular speed, or you're not really in any kind of rush. If you overbuild something, you can just downgrade it again and sort things out before you move on. But yeah, I hope to see you all in the next episode.